nervous because I'm here now.
Hey guys, welcome into another episode of 410 Sports Talk. James Haskell here with my co-host Glenn Martin. It's been an exciting day. We had our fantasy draft this morning. Hope you guys enjoyed your draft as well and you're getting pumped up for the season. Can't believe that it starts on Thursday.
Crazy.
But as things are starting to get closer and closer, you know, the roster's starting to solidify themselves. You know, go take a look at our 53-man roster breakdown. But also what we're going to talk about today, which according to John Harbaugh is just as important, is the practice squad that the Ravens have. But before we get into that, we want you to take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, leave us a like, and also make sure to leave your comments. If you want to support us or follow us, in the description, you can see where you can do all of that, and we look forward to interacting with you. But without any further ado, let's get into this. So, Glenn, before I pass you the baton, I just want to mention that this year, because of COVID, we are allowed 4 more slots on the practice squad. Previously, normally it's 10. This year it was set to bump up to 12, and then they allotted for 4 more based on this being the COVID season. So we have 16 guys that we've signed to the practice squad. So let's get into some notes that we have and talk about it.
Sure. All right. Well, the first one for me is we had to address the obvious surprise of the roster, which was the Ravens only keeping 2 tight ends after being one of the most 3 tight end heavy teams in the league. So the good news is they didn't get them too far away, the other 2 tight ends that got cut. Jarrell Adams and Eli Wolf both made the practice squad, so that's nice in case there's any injuries or maybe just doesn't work out the way they're hoping. They at least have those 2 guys right there that know the playbook, that are familiar with the offense. So I was kind of happy to see that both of them made, not just one as well.
And it's cool to see the utilization of the practice squad because, like you said, we went thin there, but now we got some depth at some other positions, but really we still have the guys on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're just utilizing that perfectly. But the one that I want to mention is my boy, the one I dubbed as a poor man's Lamar Jackson if you squint really hard in college when I saw him play at college. Tyler Huntley made the practice squad. That's, of course, the quarterback out of Utah that was signed with us as undrafted rookie. I'm excited for that, not necessarily for this year, but you mentioned it before the show starts. I don't think RG comes back after this season, and I think that Huntley could be fighting for that backup spot over McSorley. So you could see him jump from the practice squad to the backup next year, depending on his progress as a player. So I'm happy to see him make that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you. I think that is his path as long as he progresses, as a lot of people are hoping he will. It seems like a natural path. And what's cool is that it's another undrafted guy because, of course, the streak was ended. But as you can see, as we go down this list, you're going to hear a lot of undrafted rookie free agents that made the practice squad. So although they didn't make the 53, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of these guys getting quality snaps in the regular season.
Yep. What else you got?
So I was kind of happy, I guess – it was interesting to see that Chauncey Rivers from Last Chance U, the famed documentary series on Netflix, made the squad. And he's got some natural pass rush abilities. They don't show you a whole lot, more of the behind the scenes, the personalities on the show. But at least at that junior college, he was beasting out. And I know he went on and I believe he played at Mississippi State. So it'll be interesting to see if he brings any pass rush. I mean, anytime that you have natural pass rush ability, they want to see if they can kind of nurture that and develop that. And he's got some of that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you know what? He must have made some sort of an impact because once again, something you've talked about before and we talked about in our last show, go check it out if you want to, but we only kept 5 corners. And so, while we have some DBs we're going to get into, using those practice squad, spots for anything but a position that we're light at must mean that you made a significant impact enough for them to take you over a position where they might want some more depth, right?
Right.
So, I totally agree with you there. I'm going to stay right in Utah and go down the road to Provo. Told Tyson Williams made the squad. The BYU running back that came in late to camp apparently tore it up in that M&T Bank Saturday scrimmage. Big body kid. So he's made the squad, the practice squad, in a very short period of time. So, we're talking about people look out. Justice Hill.
I mean, he had to have been real impressive.
Yeah.
How much time, how many practices, like total practices, could he have had?
I think 3, not including the scrimmage or something like that.
That's impressive. And not only that, But let's remember that the Ravens broke the rushing record with 3 guys last year. They kept 4. So the fact that he's their now 5th means he must have been something special in those 3 practices. So
Yeah. Don't
I'm
forget
happy
that Gus got called up. You remember when Lamar took over, Gus
and
got
went
called
off.
up. Yeah, and that's changed his career. So just because he's a practice squad guy, you never know what's going to happen in this offense, like you said.
And he could be, unfortunately for Jimmy, he could be the next Gus next season. If
Yeah,
Gus finds himself a starting job elsewhere, he could be our next undrafted rookie, who just comes in on pretty cheap, and he ends up being a pretty quality player like Gus has for us.
I'll never watch a Ravens game again.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You just get a jersey and hang it up somewhere, get it signed. But another undrafted guy that I was happy to see make the practice squad, Nigel Warrior, another fan favorite, a guy that a lot of people wanted to see make the 53. Good to see he's not too far away because there's question marks outside of Chuck Clark at safety. So it's kind of nice to see that they didn't just stop there. They got Jordan Richards also on the practice squad. And that's nice to see because we got depth there. Because let's be honest, Elliott, high hopes for the guy. We don't know if he can stay healthy and we don't know if he can do the job yet. So it's nice to see that there's some depth there and they must be high on him if they signed him.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I want to mention, this is the first thing that jumped out at me as far as people not on the list. We talked a lot about Nick Nurse. We had his agent on the show, of course. Really excited about his measurables. Didn't make the practice squad. Pretty surprising. And you mentioned something that maybe he isn't here because I don't know, like you said, I don't know how this could happen with the lack of tape and things like that, but maybe he went to another team that is in a more desperate spot as far as corners go. And that could be why he went there. Or maybe the Ravens just didn't like him. Who knows? And maybe, it just wasn't successful in transition.
Yeah, no, it's hard to say, but I mean, look, there's a reason he wasn't drafted. So, I mean, maybe they saw the same thing. So we were rooting for him just because we felt like, it was kind of an uphill battle when he got here. I mean, this is one of the most packed cornerback rooms, if not the most in the entire league. So it was an uphill battle when he got here. But just the fact that we saw Biggie go down, we saw Averett being banged up, we thought there was a chance for him, but doesn't look like it's going to be, his home here. But another guy I was kind of surprised to see make it to the practice squad. Well, I guess not surprised. I was surprised to see who he replaced on the practice squad is Jalen Moore, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Jaleel Scott, man, your guy. You were hoping he'd make the 53. He's been a perennial practice squad guy now for us for a couple years. Kind of up and down, that 54th, 55th guy on the roster. What are your thoughts on Jalen making the practice squad over Jaleel?
Yeah, I think it might be the Ravens looked at it as it was just a time for a change, right? Now that means obviously the kid impressed, made some plays and things like that. And the thing that's interesting, once again, something that you talked about is, he doesn't bring anything new from a physical standpoint. So because he's not Jaleel, where Jaleel's, I think, 6'5" or something of that nature, a big body guy that we don't have a ton of those guys. So it wasn't like he had this specific skill or physical, these specific physical traits that said, he's worth keeping because of this. He fits this specific need. So he must have done well. He's only 5'11", not only, I mean, that's a decent size, but 5'11", 190, but that fits into pretty much the size of the other guys. So it's not like he's he doesn't have a niche, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he must have played well, but the thing I was going to ask you is, do you think Jaleel's career is done? You think he gets a look anywhere else?
I hope so. I've always liked Jaleel. I always had high hopes for him, but he just always seems to just come close to making a bunch of plays, but doesn't actually ever make any. So
I got some advice for him. And we know he watches the show, but we know Dan Harper. We've had him on the show. Dan, if you want yourself a client, go call Jaleel. Tell him, look, let's just chill out this season. Hit the weight room, come back, look like a tight end, and make Dan Waller money. All right, that's the plan.
He had to put on some weight because he's quite lanky right now. But
if anybody can do it, if anybody can do it, it's Coach Harper.
There we go. There we go. In the what's he called that the weight room there?
The slaughterhouse.
There you go, in the slaughterhouse. And then my last surprise, and actually we didn't even speak about this before the show yet. A long snapper made the team. And I want to talk about that because the Wolfpack has been pretty stable.
For a long time, yeah.
So interesting to Nick Moore, the long snapper. I don't know much about Nick Moore, but kind of surprising. Maybe that's, we have seen Morgan Cox have a season-ending injury in years past, and maybe this is just another way of them saying, you know what, we're even taking that out of the equation. We're not even going to risk losing a long snapper that we can't count on. And obviously this guy showed he can do it if need be. And, yeah, but I was kind of surprised to see another long snapper.
Yeah, you're right. Might be Morgan Cox last year in a Ravens uniform. You never know. But this is the thing I'll say
Wasn't he a Pro
is
Bowler for the first year last year, I thought?
something like that.
I could
But
have sworn.
either way, it'd be weird to see the Wolfpack broken up. But I wish that those units made the Pro Bowl as a unit.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't that be
think a
cool?
lot of those guys, including Tucker, do.
Right, that'd be awesome. But one of the things I was going to say about that is that as far as the Wolfpack goes, yeah, I mean that would be really unfortunate to see Morgan Cox go. But what it really means to me is that the depth of this roster is such that you have the luxury of putting a long snapper on your practice squad. We got a deep team.
That's true.
That's
a good
awesome.
point.
You got any other highlights or notes?
No, that's it for me.
Now, I think what I'm going to do really quick, just so you guys know, is there's 16. I'm just going to run down the names because we didn't mention all of them that made the practice squad.
Yes.
So
please.
in alphabetical order, no other order than that, you have, of course, tight end Jarrell Adams, offensive lineman Aaron Adeyo, center Tristan Colon Castillo, defensive tackle Aaron Crawford, guard Terrell Bonds, DB Khalil Dorsey, guard Will Holden, quarterback Tyler Huntley, long snapper Glenn's guy Nick Moore, wide receiver Jalen Moore. Of course, we got two more spelled the same way. Safety Jordan Richards, defensive end from Last Chance U Chauncey Rivers, safety Nigel Warrior, inside linebacker Christian Welch, running back Tyson Williams, and last but not least, tight end Eli Wolf. So that is our 16-man practice squad.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Especially, it's good to see Eli Wolf there, just in case Andrews is to go down. It's nice to see another pass-catching tight end, at least at arm's length away, that they can reach to if they need be.
Yep, absolutely. So, look, guys, we want to know what your thoughts are. Do you like the practice squad? Is there anybody that we should have highlighted and emphasized that, we didn't talk enough about? Anybody that you're really excited to see? Let us know what your thoughts are. We are stoked for the season.
Yes. Thursday.
Can't wait for it to start. So what we're going to be doing, just, for those of you that are still watching the video, we're going to be trying to have somebody from the media on from the opposing team every, the week prior in preview to the game. We're going to try really hard to do that. We're going to do a preview episode. We're going to do our pick'em, and we do a weekly pick'em. So get in on all that. Make sure you subscribe. Don't miss anything. And then, of course, we'll do our weekly recap of the games and things of that nature. Really excited. And so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and support us, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
See you.